Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. Well, not really. I like watching these kinds of videos, so I figured I'd make one, and that is going to be a build a palette style video. So if you don't know what that is, it's just basically where I build my own palette out of singles that I have. A lot of other people do these kinds of videos. I've seen Lauren May Beauty does them, Emily Han, Angelica Neekvis, just to name a few. So it's not a new concept, but I've never done it, so it's new to me. So I'm gonna try it. So specifically, the palette I'm going to be building today is going to be my own WandaVision themed palette. Now, if you've seen it, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Ulta is coming out with a collab palette with WandaVision. So I guess it's a Marvel / Ulta kind of thingamabob situation. And it's there. It's okay. It's being made. But it's not really what I personally would have picked if I was gonna be the one like doing this a little bit. So I'm gonna make my own today, and that's the inspiration for it. So it's the palette that I would have picked as a person who both loved the show WandaVision and a person who loves makeup. So yeah, like that's kind of was my inspo for this palette. So I hope you guys like it. So the shades I picked were shades that kind of give me like the vibes of WandaVision, I guess. Like I don't really know how to explain it other than that. Like, I mean, because you may look at it and not get the vibes, but I get the vibes. So that's why I picked these shades that I did. So I actually used the palette to get this look. And so yeah, I guess I've talked about it enough. I can kind of just like show you what I did. So if you guys are ready to see it, here you go. So this is the palette I have selected. As you can see, there's a lot of like shifty shades in there, like a lot of you know, kind of like you can kind of see it there, like a lot of sorry this is dirty. I fill it with shadow. Sorry, it's dirty. Anyways, so it has a lot of shifty shades, a lot of those like pretty shades, and you can see it kind of falls into like the like reddish purple with like a little bit of like greenish in there. And that's kind of the vibes that I get from WandaVision. I picked 9 shadows since there's 9 episodes. I went back and forth a little bit because I wanted to film this like last week, but I wanted to also sit with it just to make sure I was satisfied with what I picked. Because I started with like 10 and I was like, well, maybe they should get to 9 for the episodes, but then I was like, well, let me see 12, and like I just kind of kept going back and forth with what I wanted because I just couldn't decide. So I finally settled on 9, and I picked 9 because I feel like that's like kind of one of those magic numbers for eyeshadow palettes. Like that's enough shades that it's like you get enough variety, but not so much variety that you can't get a cohesive look. So that was my inspo because I was trying to kind of do something that like realistically people could buy if they were going to if Marvel / Ulta came to me and was like, Deja, we want you to create this palette. That would never happen, but say it did. I wanted something people could like realistically buy, because I could just pick a whole bunch of colors, but then like a lot of people probably wouldn't buy that. So I picked something like, again, that it has enough cohesion, but not so much cohesion that you kind of can't get like a real, more than like maybe like 2 or 3 looks out of it, but then enough variety that you can get different kinds of looks. And like I said, I did use this palette to create this look today. And so yeah, like without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I feel like I've been talking about the palette for a while, so let me just go ahead and get into the palette itself. All right, so if you would like to see that, stay tuned. Okay, so since I'm really living my like creative girl fantasy, I actually also named the palette. So if I were gonna do this palette, it would be called like either Reality Is Yours or either Your Reality Palette. Just, you know, to kind of go into the theme of WandaVision, which, you know, she creates her own hex. If you watch my last video, you know what I'm talking about. But so let's get into this. So the first shade in the palette is going to be this one. I also took the liberty of renaming these shades, so I'll tell you guys what the shade actually is like in real life, but in the context of this palette, I'll tell you what it should be. So the first one I picked is, I felt like it was just fitting. So it's this one. This is Queen of Hearts from Sydney Grace, and it's a like metallic red, as you can see. In the context of my reality palette, Your Reality Palette, alternate reality palette. Like, I still haven't really decided on the name, but it's somewhere in that realm. In the context of that, that would be called Scarlet Witch, of course. I feel like that's the only real name that could go to this. It's Scarlet Witch. So in the context of my WandaVision palette, that's what this shimmery red color would be called. So the next color is from ColourPop, and it's called Hop On. And as you can see, it's kind of a like orangey red, almost a scarlet, but it could be deeper. One thing I'll mention, you'll notice the absence of a true red in this palette, and there's a reason for that. The reason is I don't have a true red in a single. That's it. If I had one, I would, but I just didn't have one, so I didn't put it. But if I had one, I would put it there. But I did put shades that I felt like you could kind of like make a red. Like, I just seems like it kind of looks a little bit reddish. So if you wanted to, you could make a red. But yeah, I just didn't have a true one, so that's why it's not there. Anyways, so that color is Hop On by ColourPop. And in the context of the palette, I would call that one Forged. Because, you know, as Agatha said, the Scarlet Witch is not born, she's forged. So that's kind of the theme I was going with. So that would be Forged, which is a orangey red kind of color. So the next one that I have is this color. Now it's like it looks very hot pink, but it's actually like a neon red-ish kind of thingy person. And it's Infrared from Terra Moons. That's what I have kind of blown out all along the edge there. So it's Infrared. And it's a neon red, but it looks very pink. But I feel like, again, in conjunction with the other colors, it could start to pull red like it does here. And in the context of the WandaVision palette, it would be called Hex View, because, you know, it's like West View, but then like Hex, so like Hex View. I don't know, I thought it was cute. It makes sense in my head, so like, whatever, it's my palette. So the next one is going to be a shade from Cleona. This is Foiling from Cleona, but in the context of my palette, it would be called A Memory Made Real. So if you don't know, that was like part of the dialogue from the last episode of WandaVision, which was really sweet between her and Vision. And he said, he asked her like, what am I? And then he said, I'm a memory made real. So that's what this one is. You know, it's kind of got like Mind Stone vibes. So the next shade I have in my palette, this is one from Coastal Scent, and it's like an orchid kind of color, like an orchid purple. And I don't know the name of it. It's a hot pot. I've had it for like a while. I should probably get rid of it. But it's called, it just says M08. That's all it says on the back. So I'm just gonna go with that. But in the context of this palette, I would call this one Family First. So the reason why I did that is because like I kind of wanted to integrate like the idea of like her family in there, but I didn't want it to be like so loud. And I feel like that's a very like grounding shade. It's a shade that blends a lot of other shades together, and I feel like that's what like family is. We all like come together. So I like I said, it makes sense in my head. So I would call that one Family First. So the next shade in my palette would be this one. Now, if you watched my other video, my last video about Agatha and talking about WandaVision and that one, you know this one is called Gothic. It's also from Cleona, and it's like a shifty kind of red to purple, like you can see it there. It's like a red to purple kind of color. But in the context of this palette, I would just call it simply Naughty Agatha. Like I said in the last video, I feel like this shade encapsulates what Agatha is. So yeah, this would just be called Naughty Agatha. I went back and forth. I wasn't sure if I was going to call it like Naughty Agatha or like AAA for like Agatha all along, but I just went Naughty Agatha because I feel like AAA, I feel like that might be like trademarked, so I don't think that you could use that in this palette. Anyways, so like I said, this is Cleona's Gothic, and it would be Naughty Agatha. So the next shade in the palette, we only got 3 more. Like I said, there's 9 shades. So this is the 7th shade in this palette. And this is Asteria from Divina. And as you can see, it's like it shifts like green to like purple. I don't know if you can see that. Like you can kind of see it there. But it's like a green to purple flip. And in the context of my palette, it would be called Chaos Magic. Because, you know, in the line before like the last episode, Agatha was like,
"This is Chaos Magic, Wanda, and that makes you the Scarlet Witch."
So I feel like this like is that, like it's chaos magic. It like sets the green to the green to the purple flip, and I feel like it's a good shade that you can kind of mix with the other like purpley type shades in the palette. So yeah, this is Divina Cosmetics Asteria as Chaos Magic. So the next to last shade is another one from Sydney Grace, and it's called Lords a Leaping. So it's like a deep like reddish brown kind of color, and again, I thought it could be one of those colors that can transform other shades in the palette. So like I said, this is Lords a Leaping, and in the context of this palette, I would call this one Love Persevering, because it's, you know, being sweet and like a little delicate and being all like, you know. So this one's called like Love Persevering, but it's, you know, not. So the last shade in my homemade WandaVision palette is something that is very near and dear to my heart. It is probably one of the prettiest shades that I own. It's what I have mostly on the lid right now, and it is Unexpected from JD Glow. Unexpected, I don't know how JD Glow allowed this to exist, but they did, and for that I am grateful. But it's like a flippy, it's a lot of shades. It's like a teal, a brown, a gold, a purple, a blue. It's a lot. And it's so shifty and so pretty that I decided to name this one actually as after one of my new favorite characters, Marvel, Monica Rambeau. So I call this one, in the context of my palette, is called the toughest one. I feel like, because we know that like Monica got her powers in the context of WandaVision, so I feel like this kind of like encapsulates, like, let me see if I can, yeah, you can see it there. Like, it kind of like, it gives her vibe. Like, it gives her vibe of like very like unexpected, I guess. And so I feel like this is like, if we had to pick a Monica Rambeau, like this is her. Like, this is Monica. Do you see it? Because I see it. This is Monica. Anyway. And so, yeah, I will do some swatches for you guys, and I'll show you what it looks like all together. Okay. So yeah, guys, that's actually gonna wrap it up for this video. I will give you another little once over of what they all look like together. Like I said, I think it's a really pretty palette. I used it to get this look today, and I think I could get like other looks. I probably will leave these in this order for a little bit just to get like some other looks out of it, because I feel like I get some, you know, we can get some interesting stuff. You know, I feel like we could play with this a lot. Yeah, so anyways, thanks you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it isn't too long, but you know, I can get wordy, so like, yeah, sue me. Anyways, again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As per usual, you can find everything I've listed in this video down below, but also down below you can find a link to a fundraiser that you know, some of us on the internet are holding for our dear friend Thorn. So if you don't know who Thorn is, that's Thorn Hawthorne on Instagram. They are saving up for their transition. So if you guys would like to donate, please feel free to do so. I'm gonna leave it down below. Thorn is a really talented creator. If you don't, like I said, if you don't follow them on Instagram, I'll link them below. They are so talented. They just, I don't know how their mind works like to create this, but it does. And it's just so like what's the word? It's like, yummy sounds gross. So I'm not gonna use that word, but they're just so creative and so like alive, and you know, they just really deserve this. They deserve to live as their truth, and they deserve you know, all that life has to offer them. So again, if you guys could donate to their cause, I will leave it down below. If not, at least share it. I think that would be cool too. But yeah, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this video. You can find me on Instagram at Deja Vu. You can find me on Twitter at Deja Vu 2. You can find me on TikTok at Deja Vu 3, but I don't really post there. Sorry. I feel like I'm just like a smidge too old to be there, but I still have one. But I probably will eventually, but it's just, I feel like it's not my platform of choice, so I don't really stick to it. Anyways, you can find me on, like I said, TikTok at DejaVu3, and you can also check out my podcast, Grossly Overqualified, found that everywhere that podcasts are found. And yeah, I think that's it. I will leave everything on my face down below. I guess until next time, like, should I get like a sign off? I feel like I should get a sign off. I feel like that would be easier than just like coming up with one on the spot. But I don't know. Anyways, bye-bye.